Hello, Kim Victoria here with part 2 of my 2 parts on these 2 new journals. And part 1, I will put the link to part 1 for this journal in the description below. And in this video, we're going to go through this one. And this one is available in my Etsy shop. And this one had a similar idea behind it, as this one. It's just I treated it very, very differently. So let's take a look at this. So in this particular journal, I challenged myself to use a scrapbook kit that I got from a thrift store, and it had never been opened. So everything was in there. It had all kinds of fun stuff in it. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun to make a journal using primarily that scrapbook kit? So you can see right away, I mean, there was a whole sheet of letters, but there was only one of each letter. So I was going like, okay, well, my theme for the other journal and this one was ideas. And I mean, that's what we're always coming up with new ideas. And so we'll talk about ideas in here. So this little chipboard embellishment was in that kit. This little tag was in that kit. This little embellishment here was in that kit. Now I made this large button and I sewed it to the cover and put that over the top just to hide the threads. So let's go through this. Now, one of the things I can show you right away here is there are 3 chunky signatures in here, and they are chunky. I got a little carried away, but there's 3 signatures. They're sewn in, and this scrapbook paper was in the kit. Everything was color coordinated. You can see that color in these things, and I used some black ink to color those edges and it almost has a leather-like look because this paper is textured. It has some texture to it. So it was kind of cool how it came out, giving it a little bit of a leather-like look. And I used the same paper to make the paper button. So let's go through it. And this is from the kit. So you can get an idea of what the colors and the paper patterns are. And there we go. That holds that together really well. All right, we'll begin at the beginning. This was in the kit. This was in the kit. I got these words from some old magazines I picked up in a thrift shop, and there was a whole lot of idea in those magazines. So I was like, boy, let's do something with ideas. So I'll show you that really quick. This is like a little journal within a journal. I use scrapbooking paper to separate this signature, and each of the 3 signatures has their own little theme going. So in this one we have good idea, in this one we have beautiful idea, and in this one we have amazing idea. So it was words that I had, and I thought, wouldn't that be fun? All the signatures are pretty much the same. The cover is straightforward. It's one cereal box that has been covered with the paper. Pretty straightforward. Extra piece of the same paper as the front cover for reinforcing the spine, which does have 2 layers of cardboard. Since this is such a heavy, chunky book, there are 2 layers of cardboard and there's the scrapbook paper. And the black here, it's just a Sharpie marker, because I wanted to have that bendable quality, so I didn't want the scrapbook to go all the way across. I went ahead and left that as just the cardboard and the scrapbook paper out here. So I colored it in with a Sharpie marker before I glued the papers down. So that's all there is to that. Cut to size, glued down. It's really straightforward. Now, in this journal, I did some sewing, and there's pockets and tags and all kinds of fun things. So with the scrapbook paper, what I wanted to do was create more pockets. So on all 3 of the signatures, I took the scrapbook paper and folded up the bottom. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So I folded it up from the bottom so that we'd have these nice pockets. And I used some of the other papers from the kit to create some tags, which, you know, gives you plenty of pocket space to put other things. The ribbon, that's all from the scrapbook kit. And I learned this from Treasure Books, Natasha, and she learned it from somebody else. Sorry, I don't remember who that was, but this idea of putting in something to give you some ideas of what my idea was. And I've been doing this for decades with my paintings and drawings. I've been writing a little story about what inspired me, why did I create that painting, what was significant about it, and everything. So I wrote out some ideas for the ideas journal, and this is what I was thinking about. Because the theme is ideas, it could be dreams, it could be daydreams, places to see, things to do, arts and crafts projects, which is what I'm using the other journal I made for, arts and crafts projects, gift ideas, and because there's all there, and because I made like 3 journals within a journal, you could think of it as ideas for different aspects of your life. Maybe one of these journals will be good ideas as regards your family, things to do, places to go, fun things, stuff. Another one could be your work life. You know, if you own a business, if you're an entrepreneur, or some ideas that have to do with work. And the third journal could be about crafts and hobbies, the bucket list, various kinds of things. So, you know, there's so many different ways you could use this, but it all has to do with what are your ideas, which is certainly valid for any journal, for sure. So let's go through this signature really thoroughly because I've packed them full. All right, so lots of different paper, different stitching. And this again is from all these letters. There were still plenty of letters, so I looked for what could I add to ideas? Well, do. What would you like to do? And this tag you can move around to whatever section you need it. This is also a little tuck spot, so you could put something else in here with a little paper ruffle. So there's that tuck spot. Some simple papers. And here's some tissue paper. And I have some rubber stamps that I thought were kind of fit with the theme. I mean, this is, I think, oh goodness, whether this is a Michelangelo or a Da Vinci drawing, I don't remember. But it's overlaid with this spiral, and it's like a dream. It's sort of like she's thinking, and this is the wheels turning. So I used her in several places. But this was fun, of putting the tissue paper down so that you could write on the tissue paper with the lines behind, and then you could write on the lines. I made this paper, I printed it out specifically so that I could fold a sheet of paper in half and have the lines in the correct orientation. So I just did that on my computer. So I have another piece of tissue paper on this side. So you've got a couple of those. Some rubber stamping. This is some watercolor dyed paper. So I use blue watercolor paint. And there's another little tuck spot with some tea-dyed paper. This is from the kit. And the paper, of course, is all from my stash. And there's some little pockets throughout for you to have other little journaling spots. And this is a rubber stamp I had made. I did the drawing and set this all up, and I had the stamp made. So I'll put a link down in the description for the company you can go to. If you get a good idea and you want to make a rubber stamp, you can get a rubber stamp made. And because I make rubber stamps, I already had the wood and all that. So I just had the plastic stamp itself made, and then I mounted it. And of course, if you like to do cling mounting with your rubber stamps, you could do that too. So I just had this stamp made. and now I can use it. So just a little fun thing. Oh, okay, so then this little pocket was a piece of scrapbook paper that I folded in half, and so the other half's elsewhere. So you can see little offcuts here. This is some offcuts, and this is one of those corner bookmark kinds of ideas. Another idea. And why? You know, when you get an idea, maybe you want to do it, maybe you don't. Well, why? Why is it a good idea? I don't know. It was another letter in the kit, and I thought, why not? Another rubber stamp I have. She's looking out at you. Things to think about. Okay, so we've got more of the lined paper. This is another stamp, rubber stamp, that I really like. I like the attitude of this face. And, you know, I don't remember what company this one came from, but she's calm. She looks really determined, but also really thoughtful. So I thought, that's a good rubber stamp for an idea journal. And I have included a coloring book page in all 3 signatures in the middle. And then we go through, and you're getting just the other side of the paper. Oh, and I've got quite a stash of cards. So I have some really cute cards, and it comes with the envelope, and it's blank. So there are 3 cards you can send in this. And I just sewed this little flap closed, no glue. And here is the other side of that same one with another little journaling spot. More good ideas. Tea-dyed paper. Everything is on the other side. Good idea. And this is some more of the tissue paper. And I put that small lady in there. She was a dreamer. And ideas come from daydreams, and some people taking a shower, or maybe while driving the car. It's, yeah, I mean, dreams are where ideas come from. So that, and that, and that, and that. Now, the other side of this, I put in an envelope in the signatures too. And what I wanted to do with the envelope is I wanted to put offcuts. And the offcuts come from the kit. They come from some of my dyed paper. And now you can make embellishments to go on here or any of the pages. Maybe you have some punches. Maybe you have some other way of you want to create some extra embellishments. So I put the offcuts because they match the whole thing. And so it just seemed like that was a good idea. Give the offcuts to whoever winds up with this journal. So that's the envelope. And more letters from the kit. Have fun. And that's a sticker I had. It's the little happy face, and just drew some lines. This is from the kit. Another little writing spot. And then we get into beautiful idea. Everything here is same with maybe some little variety. So B, beautiful. D, dream. Another little thing there. Another writing spot with the scrapbook paper and tea-dyed paper glued and sewn on. This is a stencil that I got from Stencil Girl Products. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Einstein. Every bit of knowledge came from imagination. Every item that exists in the world came from imagination. Super important. A great one to remember. Ribbon from the kit. Another one of those tuck spots. So everything's pretty much the same. Little places to put things. There's our lady again. A different coloring page. A different card to send. And in this envelope, I punched out some heart shapes, but I didn't put them in anywhere. So there's a whole bunch of heart shapes tucked into this envelope that you can put where you want, along with some other offcuts and things. So there's some fun things to play with if you wind up with this journal. Another one of those writing spots. and just adding some fun little extras, a little waterfall notepad with some dyed lined paper. And we get to amazing idea. Another one of those, some more ribbon, another tuck spot, more tissue paper, or tracing paper that is. Another little waterfall notepad. Dream. I mean, it's just really started to get so packed. I thought, well, I better leave things. Here's the third coloring page. I better leave some stuff for whoever receives this journal to play with. Whoops, there's a fly. It's summertime. There are flies. Everything the same. And in this envelope, once more, these are the leftovers. So there's a few letters in there. There's a few numbers in there. This is all the little bits and pieces that came with the kit that match the colors, and something else for you to play with. And again, so then it was getting so chunky. I thought, well, let's leave some things for whoever receives this to play with. There's some more ribbon. Here's some more leftover bits from the cardstock that came with the kit. So those are all in there ready to embellish more pages. And, of course, one of the things I learned from Natasha on Treasure Books is a writing board. And I just love that idea. That makes so much sense. And I glued on a piece of tea-dyed paper, so this could be written on as well. But this is so perfect because you've got this lumpy places. And if you wanted to write on this page, and that wasn't there, there's all this lumpiness. You put the writing board in there, and it's great, okay? And it's all over the place. I mean, this is a pretty lumpy journal. This is lumpy. So then if you want to write on, when you want to write on this page, you want a smooth surface. So yes, a writing board. I love that. Okay. And there it is. And then this is just sewn on, poked a couple of holes and just use some. This is beading cord, by the way. I use beading cord for the signatures and for this closure because it's really strong and it works really well. You can rely on it. So there it is. And I hope there's something in there that inspired you, and maybe you've got some new ideas. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you watching my video, and I hope you'll join me again. All right, bye for now.